you've been studying Spanish for months or even years and you cannot have a conversation yet? Today, we'll be covering 5 different reasons why you're still stuck in Spanish. And if this is you, don't feel bad. This is something quite normal. I've noticed this happening to a lot of my students. I'll be showing you how to fix these symptoms, and that's something I definitely experienced personally when I was learning English. So let's get started. Number 1 is fear of making mistakes. Now, fear is the number 1 enemy when trying to gain fluency, because a lot of students say, well, if I cannot say it perfectly, then I will not say it. And that is the worst thing you can do when learning an actual language. I mean, I understand you put a lot of effort in trying to understand a structure or adding new vocabulary to your Spanish, and not being able to form the actual sentence, it's kind of sad. I get it. We definitely have to prioritize the speaking part. I do speak with a lot of mistakes. Like sometimes I'll be saying things in a weird way because I'm teaching Spanish all the time. I'll be using like the English structure. So yeah, I will definitely find myself using or committing mistakes in Spanish. I've had a couple students who tried this method of only consuming content and like listening Spanish, being surrounded by Spanish speakers, but they not speaking whatsoever. And they did that for a long time. That's like 3 or 4 months, which is a lot. And you can definitely achieve a lot in 3 and 4 months. They couldn't say a word. That was impressive to me. And obviously when we started to follow the program, they were forced to speak. That's how they could really start measuring their progress. Obviously, there are different methods and ways. I respect all of those, but please do not be afraid of using your Spanish. Number 2 is only using apps for learning. And I mean, only apps. I've had students with over 800 days streak, even more. I think, yeah, one of them reached 1,000 days. They had a hard time forming a simple sentence like with gusta like verse, me gusta la pizza. I mean, that is one of the things that really, I was gonna say makes me mad, but I feel bad for these students because I'm pretty sure they have put a ton of hours. And I know it's a very comfortable way to practice. Like if you don't have much time, you can open the app for 5 minutes. And I mean, that's obviously better than nothing. Don't rely on apps 100%. I suggest you combine those with Spanish content, following a program, a book, anything that really makes you talk and practice with all of your skills. Number 3 is inconsistency. Students who are learning on and off and they cannot stick with a specific learning routine. I'm pretty sure you've always heard this with pretty much anything that you can actually learn, not only in the language learning environment, but consistency. It's what's really gonna make you speak and feel confident. I know things happen in life and sometimes you just cannot stick with a certain routine or skill that you were learning, but if you really want to take the next step, I suggest you save some time for Spanish. I mean, I know it's hard for some people. It is way better to study a tiny little bit a day than studying really hard for a week and then stopping for a whole month. That's one of the most common reasons why you're stuck, because you're learning new stuff, but then you stop for a while and now you have to refresh in those things that you already learned. So for learning a language, you have to definitely cover the structures and the grammar part, the technical part itself, but you also have to make sure you're adding those new topics to your conversations. And if you stop, then you have to refresh on those. And that is what it's really going to confirm that you are or that you feel stuck. Number 4 is being obsessed with grammar and learning the technical academic Spanish, which it's fine if you really want to pass that exam, that test like DELE or CLE. Well, that's definitely something you have to do and really focus on. It's an investment at the end of the day. But if you are really trying to gain confidence and fluency, and you feel stuck, relying 100% on grammar is not the best idea. I would say this is one of the main reasons why students burn out and they don't really want to continue. They just think, well, this is too hard, this is too technical. It could be very overwhelming if you focus entirely on the grammar part. You have to use your Spanish and you will definitely be paralyzed at first, but the more you speak it, the less paralyzed you will feel and the less stuck you will be when actually using Spanish in real conversations with people. So you definitely have to commit mistakes. You have to form phrases in your mind. Do not always rely on a specific skill like writing or reading. I'm pretty sure most students feel like this, like they can actually read and write perfectly. or they have an easier time doing that instead of speaking or actually listening to someone using their Spanish. And like we mentioned in number one, don't be afraid of making mistakes. That is what's really gonna make you more confident. And at the end of the day, for most structures that you're learning, since Spanish and English are similar in some ways, you will have to validate most of what you're saying. And that validation is something you will gain out of people correcting you or noticing those mistakes when using your second language. And number five, and sorry if you feel bad for this one, but not enough Spanish input, real Spanish input. So this is something a little controversial. Some people think that passive practice and passive inputs are enough for practicing their Spanish, like listening to music or watching shows. I mean, that's still better than nothing. But if that's the only thing you're doing for practicing your Spanish, the progress will feel very slow. And that is something students are pretty mad at when finding out, okay, I have put like months or weeks into this topic. I still cannot fully understand this. I have to go over the same topic over and over. That's because those inputs are not active inputs. You have to do something about that so that you can actually gain those skills. So you have to think of all this as a mix, a compound of ways that you can rely on and add to your routine. So for example, learning with textbooks and flashcards, that is a very isolated way to practice. You can add shows and music, but you definitely have to try to understand them by looking at the lyrics and using subtitles and actually doing some research in the words that you don't fully understand. So that's a more active way to practice, not just playing music on your car. And I could just tell you, well, you just have to look for new people you can practice with, like talk to natives. Just talk to native people, and that is a privilege not a lot of people have. Sometimes their partners or their family are people they can practice with, but that's not something that it's happening all the time. Like, it's hard to look for people who can actually be willing to practice with you. Now, and this is also quite common. Some students do have a partner who is fluent in Spanish, and they do have a hard time trying to practice. Like, they feel cringe at first, and that's obviously something they have to do little by little. Comment down below if you identify with one of these 5 reasons, and that might be the main reason why you feel stuck. And let me know how you feel about that though. I would really love to go deeper in that specific symptom and help you overcome the struggle of feeling stuck and help you achieve the fluency you're looking for. And if you're ready to take your Spanish to the next step, or if you would like to know if you're ready to take your next step, you should definitely check out my Spanish check. This is a 101 live session. It's 30 minutes on Zoom where we can discuss your Spanish goals and also set a starting point in your Spanish journey so that you can definitely improve and gain more fluency and confidence. The link is down below. It's completely free, so definitely go check that out. And I suggest you watch this other video. This is about how to stop translating in Spanish. I know a lot of students have this issue, so you can definitely watch that and see you in the next one. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos.